Well, hello everybody. We are back with our next video in the viewer question and answer series from viewers across the United States. And today we are here with Amanda from Tennessee, and she's kind of in the country out in Tennessee. So our internet is a little slower, so there's a little lag time, but you guys will hopefully be able to hear her well as she asks me 3 questions today. So welcome, Amanda. I'm excited.
Hi.
So what is your first question today?
My first question is, so I had an aunt who recently passed away, and whenever we went to the gravesite to actually bury her, the family noticed that that was the vault they had was not the vault that they purchased and that they chose.
Ooh.
So we ended up having to backtrack. They were trying to order and we wanted to bury her that day, but we ended up having to go back and bury her the following day. How often do those kinds of mistakes happen, and do you get a discount when those things happen?
Did you find out, was it the cemetery or was it the vault company's fault, or was it the funeral home's fault? Like, did you figure out whose fault it was, or?
Evidently, it was the funeral homes. They just didn't double check. And so the vault that was provided, they just didn't, it was not the correct one. It looked completely different from what they requested.
Okay. Well, I'm wondering how the family knew. I could tell if it was like a grave liner versus maybe a ceiling vault, because because you usually don't see the base, but you could tell from the lid it was a completely different vault. So that's interesting. The family recognized that part of it. So that would be the only thing that would, I feel like, cue me off. Not so much like the difference between a Continental and a Monticello. Most families probably wouldn't know the difference if maybe the display model and the other model were different colors, because they come in different colors that you can have them painted. So it's interesting they were triggered to know that. I would assume that if it was the funeral home, I would say they would maybe offer a discount on the vault company's charges, possibly, or something, graveside charges. I don't know where. I would wait maybe for the family. I always have said, don't offer stuff, wait to be asked. Because sometimes you get too quick at throwing money at problems that people don't even expect.
Right.
People don't even expect anything, and you're basically shooting yourself in the foot before it needs to happen and anticipating that the family's more upset. Because a family could react one of 2 ways in that instance. They could go off the charts and sue the funeral home for, emotional duress of not getting to lay their loved one to rest, or they might just be like, oh, it's a mistake. We understand it happens. We'll make it right. So I think it depends how the family reacts and what they want. If they ask for a specific something, because since it's an emotional time, I don't know if I would jump in and just offer something, because it may not fix what it is they're wanting. I maybe wait and see what they requested. I would apologize, and I would, maybe ask, what can we do to make this right for you? And see what they say. See if it's logical, if it's rational. Definitely try to make something right with them and help them if, we could. That would be, I think, my first step in doing that, and maybe send them like some bookmarks or some little something later as well, just to like throw a bone, give something. I wrote an article. There's a thought process that for every one mistake you made, you need to make 5 grand gestures or do something 5 times. It started from this parenting theory that if you say something negative to your child, you need to do 5 positives to try and counterbalance that. So I looked at it from the funeral perspective. Okay, if you do something wrong with a family, what 5 things could you maybe do to balance yourself out and stuff? And I mean, it would take a lot, I feel like, to get yourself in the trust graces of that family again, but I think it's possible. And So it's an interesting, did they get a discount? How did that play out with them?
To my knowledge, I didn't ask. I jokingly asked my cousins, and but they weren't super angry. We're in a small town, and we've known the funeral home forever, and nothing like this has ever happened. So it was a rare occurrence.
I would think it would be extremely rare. The wrong casket, like you show up and they're in the wrong one. Maybe accidentally whoever was getting the people ready used the wrong one on the wrong person, and they got switched. I can see those things happening. And it's not malicious. It's not trying to sometimes accidents happen. Sometimes malicious things do happen, but sometimes accidents just do happen, unfortunately. We're at such a emotional time for everything we do at the funeral home that it heightens an error that much.
Right.
Yeah. What's your number 2 question?
Right. This might sound a little weird, but can you smell embalming fluid on the bodies when they're laying there? Because I feel like funeral homes always have a strain, like when you go into the have a smell, a scent.
There definitely is different smells that if you're not attuned to what they are, you're going to notice maybe a scent, but you don't know what it is. Like I talk about somebody who's autopsy, they have like this cooler smell that they've been in the cooler for a while in this cold storage. There's a specific scent that is connected to that. There's a specific scent to blood that has been there for a while that most people have never smelled. It's just old blood, or super old urine has a smell that we smell often in old diapers if they've been on somebody for a while. Well, sorry, not diapers. I get told not to call them that, but adult incontinence. There's also smells to the fluids and the chemicals and some of the powders we use. Things like that definitely have specific smells. Like if I'm in other areas of the funeral home, every once in a while, I'll even through the filtration, and there's one funeral home I work at that I go to, and I walk past one vent and I can tell for some reason I don't know how it's even connected, because I know it's not, but I can smell something of chemical that comes out from the press area. And I know it's not connected, but I smell a whiff of it. And I'm like, I don't know how it got there, but I can smell no idea. So you can definitely pick up on scents. People will ask me if, I attended a funeral and I think it was decomposition I smelled. And I'm like, well, do you know what decomp smells like? No, not really, but it might not have been. Just because it's a foul odor to you doesn't mean that it's decomposition. It might just be chemicals or something. It could be a rotten flower that's in one of the flower pieces, because some of the flowers smell like horrible that are used in flowers. So I can pick them out.
I agree.
But yeah, the flowers, it's bad. So I can pick out scents. I don't know how many other people, like if you're just attending, could pick out some of those different. But.
Okay. I just didn't know, because I was like, there's a scent. I'm not sure.
There is a scent for sure. Yeah.
And so my last question is, if you weren't doing this, what would you do?
This is such a good question. I don't know if somebody asked me this on one of these videos yet or not, because I feel like maybe it was in a live video. My first literal, whenever anybody asks me that, is I go to investigator or like a private eye or something like that. Because I like the mystery and I like figuring answers. And I always loved forensic psychology. I love the thought process behind criminal and kind of digging into that. I like solving things. So whether it's crime, whether it's whatever. So something in that area, maybe I would do. I don't know. I think there's so many vocations that you don't know about. I never knew there was a therapy person that you did therapy through music. I never knew that existed. I never knew that was a thing when I was growing up. There was no career day about that. So I feel like there's so many things that I never knew existed. Like food tasters and, research and development of ice cream.
Right.
These things are awesome that they exist and that somebody gets to actually do that. That's crazy.
Right.
So
like the whiskey tasters and
yeah, sign me up. Like not whiskey, but a brewery or something, or a wine taster. Like that'd be great. I don't know that I'd want to drink all day. That seems really not good for you, but it could still be fun. I think it would be fun to come up with names, like be a person that a bar has you come in and you get to name their drinks and come up with really fun names. How cool would that be? I think that would be a good job. I don't know that I think that somebody there just picks the names, but I feel like that would be fun to come up with like the names of beer, the names of cocktails at different places that has themes to them, or I don't know, that would be fun. I think there's a lot of things that I would, that I feel like would just be fun things to do. I don't know how you get to do it. They would for a while. And I don't know if it would be a full life career thing. I think it would be a fun job to have for a while, but I don't know how old it would get. Just like anything that you have maybe a passion for and you start doing as a career, sometimes it can burn off. Unfortunately, just like this, I think that was getting into a rut when I started maybe doing videos, that I feel like this has energized me back into the business, where maybe I would have burned out at this point if I hadn't found a new avenue of how to look at the job, how to help students, how to work with different, just learning more and growing and expanding. And I think that's just such a big part of any career. Anything you do is always being willing to adventure out and to learn more and then pour back in and learn more, pour back in. And this has given me a great avenue to do that. So, I always say this gives more to me than I will ever give to anybody. But I can't imagine doing a job where you didn't ever get to reinvent yourself after, 15 years in the business and rejuvenate. I feel like you just burn out, and many people do, sadly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. Oh, do you have any bonus questions?
I just had one and I completely forgot it.
Oh no, bring it back. Bring it. I thought, so Amanda.
I know. It was good.
I was going to say, Amanda works with kids and like trauma and things. And so I thought all her questions would be geared towards children, actually.
Oh, no. Yeah. I guess I don't like to think about children in the death component. So
yeah.
As a mortician embalmer, are you required to have any particular numbers to like continuing education over the year or anything?
Great question. Michigan, we don't have that right now, which is weird, right? So we don't have to but other states do. So every state sets their rule for themselves as to how many continuing ed hours you need in the year. We don't have that in Michigan, though. So we don't have to be continually educated, I guess. Which is weird. But
interesting.
But if we're dual licensed, so where I'm at in the state, I'm about 40 minutes, not even, from the border to Indiana. So anywhere from me down towards the border, a lot of people have like a dual license. Am I about 40 minutes? I'm trying to think how long it takes me to get down there. 45-ish. A lot of people closer to the border will have dual licenses, Indiana and Michigan. They have to get continuing ed for Indiana, but not for here. So they'll have to still do it, even though they work primarily here to keep up their license. They have to do it in the other states. So, and there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of online ones that you don't actually have to go somewhere, especially right now. That's really good. But there is always online that are put out by National Funeral Directors Association. All sorts of different organizations and stuff will send out information and let you do a lot of online trainings for different things. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Michigan is just very confident with embalmers and funeral directors.
I guess it's in, it's funny because there's some areas we are so strict, and then continuing that, it's like, why not? Why? Who needs it? So it's so funny how states, choose what laws or what this or what that do, because everyone is so different. It's crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, thank you for bringing questions. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for talking with me.
Yeah. So thanks, guys, for joining us. It's Amanda in Tennessee. So check us out next Sunday again, and what state we're visiting next week. Who knows where we'll be. We're narrowing in. I think we're over half of the country by now with our question and answers. So we still have quite a few weeks to go, which is exciting. I'm interested to see who's going to be my last interview, who's going to round it out, because that person's going to have to really come up with some good questions, since they will have had 49 times 3 worth of questions that, 147 they'll have already been asked. So it'll be interesting what they come up with that last full video. So we shall see. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.